Look, I'm sorry, but I can't do this anymore. I love opening my videos with a blinding optimism, but I really do think that Assassin's Creed Shadows has broken me. I have played and reviewed many Ubisoft games on this channel. Far Cry 6, Avatar, Star Wars Outlaws, and that last one nearly killed me. But Assassin's Creed Shadows might have single-handedly put the last nail in the coffin. So, in today's video, I'm going to be talking about the game's opening, exploration, gameplay, and story in order to explain to you all why this will be the last Ubisoft game I ever make a video about on this channel. Consider this my entry for the world's longest crash out session. Play the intro. So apparently, according to some windbags on the internet, Assassin's Creed Shadows is everything wrong with modern gaming and that it's the pinnacle of woke ruining video games. But let's reel it in for a moment and start with the opening of the game. Ubisoft games have always had this magical ability to write engaging openings for their games that set a standard that they struggle to uphold or follow through on. But Assassin's Creed Shadows is surprisingly different. Where most Ubisoft games set up incredible characters and story beats that you slowly lose interest in as the game goes on, Shadows sets up incredible characters with engaging stories that hold your attention for hours, only for you to realize very quickly at a very specific moment in the game that both playable characters that are both written to be good guy protagonists have goals and missions that contradict one another. And it's this scene right here that transforms this game into one of the worst pieces of media that I have ever had the disprivilege of consuming. I'm being quite calm right now, all things considered, but it's only because I'm going to be losing my shit once we get here. I apologize for the next few minutes. I'm going to be spewing at you context in order to set up these two playable characters, but I promise once the setup is complete, the real critique and eventually the meltdown shall begin. And you'll know it's time when we finally get to this scene right here. Diogo, who will later be named Yasuke, is an African samurai, and despite what every person on the internet who hasn't played the game would tell you, they handle the concept of a black man becoming a samurai really well. The game opens on Diogo as a Portuguese slave working for a group of priests. These priests want the freedom to roam the lands ruled by the local warlord Oda Nobunaga without getting clapped by the warlord's forces. Oda notices very quickly when riding into town that everyone is talking about the big scary black man, and from that very moment, Oda does not care about the priests. His whole focus is now on Diogo. And there are small details that help illustrate this. When walking into Oda's home, both priests' shadows fade into the shadows of the walls, whilst Diogo's, despite being behind the priests, has his shadow be the only one not faded into the rest of the scene. He is the sole focus of Oda, and it becomes very apparent very quickly. Oda notices that Diogo is the only one to assess the danger that he and his masters are in when the priests start fumbling their negotiations.
You ask me to let your priests walk freely, but your priests are here already, Father Valegnano. Perhaps before you worry about your priest feet, you may wish to plead for their heads. Your black man has the instincts of a warrior. As he realized the danger you are in, his eyes found every threat in the room.
Oda ends up striking a deal with the priests. They may have freedom in his lands on the one condition being that they hand over Diogo. Oda identifies that Japanese people find a black man very frightening and wants to weaponize that fear by turning Diogo into a warrior who will do his bidding. Diogo is turned into a symbol of fear because of his natural warrior instincts in seeing danger coming before it's even arrived, but also because of his race. From here, we do a time jump to see Oda's new warrior in action. You play as Yasuke, you mow down enemies like they are nothing, and it's great. Yasuke's opening is 20 minutes long, explains away him being a samurai very well, establishes that he is working for a bad guy who wants to take over Japan, and sets the stage for what could be an interesting story, with the word could doing all the heavy lifting, and the concept of an actual story getting its back blown out behind a Wendy's. The scene pans out, and you are introduced to Nawe. It turns out that while playing as playable protagonist number 1, you are invading the home and killing the loved ones of playable protagonist number 2. And that had me very excited to see how the hell these two were gonna end up working together like we see in the trailers. Oh boy, I can't wait for Yasuke to come to terms with his crimes and he'll go on a journey of embedment. That's gonna be cool. He is going to become a good guy, right guys? The game manages to set up and have you up to date with Yasuke's story in 20 minutes. Nawe's story setup, however, is going to take 8 hours. And you know what? That's fine. Yasuke is a character with no importance in the setting, whilst Nawe is Japanese and holds more agency in the setting. So it makes sense that it would take longer for you to get up to speed. My issue isn't that Nawe's story takes its time getting started. My issue is that this game doesn't even know what time is. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a Ubisoft game. You know what time it is. It's time for... Nawe's opening story is so unbelievably simple, yet so good that it genuinely feels like the writers scared themselves when they wrote something coherent that they had to go back and fuck it up. We open on Nawe waking up to her father playing a song before they begin her training. This is where the game teaches you the difference between light attacks, heavy attacks, and charge up attacks that can break blocks, and it does this very smartly. The game already knows it taught you what buttons to press when you were playing as Yasuke, so here it allows you to get a feel on how Nawe is slightly different. When your dad holds up a block and you do a light attack, he reacts accordingly, and the game does not tell you what to do. You keep trying, eventually start hitting him with heavy attacks, and you're able to break his block. The game organically lets you learn the combat knowing you already have a feel for it after playing as Yasuke, and it's a great piece of visual storytelling on how Nawe is a fast learner, and that with her being smaller, her fighting style is slightly different to that of Yasuke's. After some training and chatting to your grandma, the game starts to show you how Nawe becomes more skilled, but also that a lingering threat is coming for her village in Iga. You fight some bandits that have been pushed into your valley after a warlord named Oda Nobunaga has been battling his way through the countryside, killing everything in his path. You kill some more bandits in the valley. You take the oath of your clan where your father explains that they have a mission and were a part of some kind of creed. Ooh, interesting. You intercept Oda's plans of invasion. You stop a small band of his forces where you land your first kill and prove to your father that you are ready. Jump a few days and now the real force has hit Iga, bringing us back to where Yasuke's story ended and where Nawe's begins. Your father reveals to you that the clan's duty is to protect a mysterious box and gives you the classic wrist blade, alluding to the creed that he spoke about before potentially being the same creed as the rest of the games. You fail to protect the box. Your father saves you. You stubbornly head back out whilst you are injured to steal back the box. You kill the man who attacked you and you steal back the box, and whilst nearly successful in returning the box, you are stopped by the Shinbakufu, a mysterious organization whose sole mission is to aura farm and to obtain what is in the box, which will supposedly give them the power to take over Japan. They go to kill you. Your father saves your life, but sadly dies in the process, and before he dies, he tells you to remember the song that he'd been playing for you countless times in the opening so far. You are saved again by a monk and a child after the Shinbakufu leave you for dead. They aid you in your recovery, and now your mission situation is clear. You are going to rebuild the guild that was slaughtered in Iga and take out this mysterious organization, with the sole reason being to get back the box that your father told you to protect. I'm sorry that I threw all of that at you so fast, but don't worry, we're going to go through all of that again. You see, this is how a normal story is told, but Ubisoft is allergic to telling stories coherently. You see, the story that I just told you is a lie. It is what happens, but it is not told in this order. Here, let me show you how it actually goes. Naoe's story starts in Iga at the halfway point of the invasion. You and your father rush to go help, and he randomly just gives you the iconic wrist blade with no build up and tells you to protect a box. You go to grab a box and you get knocked out. The game then shows you get rescued by your father and does a time jump. You then head back out to get the box, get clapped, your dad dies, and the Shinbokfu just assumes that a bullet to your leg will kill you and leave you to die like a bunch of idiots.
No! Let them suffer. Let them die in pain.
Fine. We have what we came for.
We then do another time jump. Some kid says that he's been taking care of you along with a monk, and we do another time jump and a montage of you getting better. You then, in order to progress the story, need to go play some meditating mini games in order to remember the things that happened before the invasion. The first meditation time jumps you back to before you even knew how to be a fighter. The game gives you that tutorial that I spoke about before, but now it's placed after you've already been taught how to do combat as Naoe, making all of this completely pointless and just a waste of time. The next meditation minigame gives you another reverse time jump, and so does the next one, and so does the next one, until you are all up to date with Naoe's story. Food analogies and food metaphors are illegal in video essays, but so is whatever the fuck the writers are doing here. So allow me to explain this like Naoe's opening is a tasty cheeseburger. Instead of being a normal game that layers everything as it comes with the occasional time jump forward, which in turn makes a coherent consumable opening, Naoe's story is layered in a way that's so hard to digest that you have no idea in what order the memories are being told, so you end up just either forgetting it or ignoring it. Keep in mind as well that these meditation points are optional for a large portion of the next 20 hours of the game, meaning that you are progressing forward in the main story, and then out of nowhere you are being thrown back months in the story because the game thinks that that is a more engaging way to tell a story. The most diabolical shit they pull is not developing the relationship with your dad until after he is dead, so you don't even care when he eats shit. But he also tells you to remember a song that is super special to both of you, but you haven't even heard it yet.
Remember the song in the music. We are together.
Buddy, what are you yapping about? The entire game is about killing a band of people who were there when a person you don't care about dies like an idiot. And let me be clear, Naoe's story is actually pretty good. Her dad is cool, her clan is full of interesting characters, but by the time you're learning about any of them, you know that they're already dead. So what's the point in engaging in their story when you know their story has already ended? From here, you have to go kill 2 more members of the Shinbokfu, and it's after this that you will finally bump into Yasuke. We will discuss all 12 of the Shinbokfu in the story segment of the video, but now it's time to talk about how this entire game starts taking the piss. So to recap, Naoe is an assassin who wants to kill the 12, and Yasuke is a samurai working for a warlord who ordered Yasuke to kill all of your neighbors and loved ones. How could these two possibly end up aligning their goals? Simple, they don't, despite the game insisting that they do. Confused? Good! Now you know how I feel! As Naoe, after killing 3 of the 12, and whilst Yasuke is still not a playable character yet, Oda's second-hand man, Mitsuhide, reveals to you that Oda is the masked man, the leader of the Shinbokfu, which is completely unbelievable considering Oda is already publicly taking over Japan, so why would he hide his face whilst plotting to take over Japan? And if he had a band of 11 warriors, why wouldn't Yasuke be amongst them? So instantly, you assume Mitsuhide is full of crap crap. But regardless, you promise to help him kill Oda. You invade Oda's castle, you go to kill Oda, but Yasuke stops you. But gasp! Yasuke can't kill you because you have a wrist blade? Wait, what? Oda doesn't get killed, but randomly decides because his enemies attacked him like they have done 100 times before, he is unable to be a leader and decides to game end himself. Look, this is dragging out and I'm sorry, but none of this matters. I'm just trying to get you guys to the point where I realize this game was fucking with me. After Oda is dead and Mitsuhide is revealed to be one of the 12, oh my god, you as Naoe realize that Junjuro, the little kid that saved you after the 12 attacked you and left you for dead, has gone missing. You find him in a Shimbakufu castle, and you get worried that he has been working with the enemy. The enemy plans to kill you, but oh damn, Yasuke shows up and saves you, and after he does, he proposes you guys work together because reasons. What are those reasons? Fuck you! You have a blade on your wrist, and that makes him kinda curious. No, really, that's the reason.
The blade on your wrist. I have seen it before. My whole life, I have been caught on a wind, blown across the world, clinging to whatever I could. Opportunity, love, the past. Let me walk beside you for a time. Let me see where this wind takes us.
And here is where everything falls apart. Naoe knows that this is the man who killed everyone that she has ever loved outside of her father, understandably crashes out and goes to kill him, only for Junjuro to walk out and say, "No, you can't kill him because you're just as bad as he is." Excuse me?
You killed my neighbors, my friends, everyone I ever knew and loved. Look at me! I'm going to stick your head on an Egan spear. So until the crows take your eyes, you can see the pain you've left in your wake.
Stop!
Stay out of it, Junjiro.
No, you don't understand.
He killed Egans, my family. He's a monster.
Then you're a monster too.
What?
It is now revealed that Junjuro is the child of the man who knocked you out, stole the box, was one of the 12 Shimbakufu, a man who had all intentions of killing innocents and taking over Japan. Because you killed him, and Yasuke killed innocent men, women, and children that you loved in Iga, you guys are the same, and that's why you should forgive him, Naoe.
I tried to stop you from coming here. I begged you, but you wouldn't listen. And I knew you'd find out if I didn't do something. Hide things. Or earn things. I couldn't let you find out. I still miss him. My Chichue. When we first found him, I didn't believe it. Then, when I realized it was you, it turned real. Soren wanted me to be kind to you. He said we should show you mercy. Even when I didn't want to. I thought you were a demon, a monster. And slowly, you started looking like something else. A person, a friend, family. He did bad things, but so did you.
I beg your fucking pardon? He even says that if you do kill him, it's only fair if he gets to kill you. Because if we're going to do a vengeance, then I guess it's my turn, right?
So if you kill him now, then you have to hand the katana to me next. I'll do it. I'll really do it.
And you want to know what's absolutely insane? Naoe agrees with him and ends up banding with Yasuke.
I didn't know. Forgive me. You still want to walk beside me? Follow this wind wherever it takes us? We have all seen darkness. Some have been that darkness. We have come together despite it all.
Nawe from here on out is a complete idiot. She wants to kill all of the 12 because 3 of the 12 killed her dad. But she isn't going to kill the guy that headed the invasion that slaughtered every single person that she has ever known. But don't worry guys, because it actually does get even worse. You know how Yasuke worked alongside a murderous warlord who wanted to kill everyone who didn't join his war on Japan? Yeah, well Yasuke is going to spend the rest of the game defending Oda's honor and will never apologize for working alongside him because he actually loved working for Oda and loves Oda like family. I'm not kidding here. Yasuke never grows as a character and somehow Nawe is completely fine with it. Yasuke knows he worked for a violent man, admits that he had slaughtered hundreds under Oda, but does not compute that everything he did was wrong. Let's make this clear. Nawe wants to avenge her dad, who was a warrior of peace. Yasuke wants to avenge a dictator warlord who murdered and killed innocent people for power and wealth. What is happening right now? Yasuke, whilst being written to be a good and honorable guy, is outright the most evil person in the game when you look at his actions before joining Nawe. And the game never makes him reflect on it. He literally hangs out and gets along with other murderous samurai who worked along Oda, killed innocents, and you both reminisce. From here, Nawe and Yasuke are best friends with a common goal that they will help each other with their missions. I'm not kidding. Nawe will help Yasuke with his quest line where he avenges the death of Oda, the guy who killed everyone she ever knew. This isn't bad writing. I don't even think you can consider this writing. It's like anti-writing. The game just forgets everything it's set up so that you can play two characters who in any other story would be at each other's throats. So yeah, that's the opening of Shadows. It was good for 20 minutes and then the rest of the game happens. And trust me, this all gets even worse. But there are other things about this game that we need to discuss before we get there. We'll be diving deeper into the story later on in the video. But for now, let's talk about the things that you'll be getting up to as you travel across Japan, aka the exploration. Exploration in Assassin's Creed Shadows is not real. You might think it's real because you seem to be walking around the map and finding stuff to do as you go by, but anyone who has more than 10 hours can tell you that it's all an illusion. Case in point, side quests don't exist in this game, or at least not in the way that they would normally work. At no point will you find a person that has something for you to do, spend 15 minutes doing that thing, and have you be rewarded for it. Everything is drawn out the same and it sucks. There are 5 activities to do whilst exploring the lands of Shadows: killing bad guys, collecting relics, conducting knowledge points, saving civilians, and conquering temples, all of which may feel different at first, but in reality they are all the same, with over half of these tasks just being tools to make the game more bearable. You will get a quest, which will ask you to do a repetitive activity on a loop until the game decides that you've done enough, and that is all there is to this game. And that's not to say that it cannot be fun at times, but there are only so many times you can do the same thing on a loop before the reward isn't worth it. I'm no longer having fun. Let's discuss how you find these activities in the first place. You're never really exploring the map to find things to do. In order to find stuff to do, you need to head to a vantage point that will reveal question marks on the map, and at first glance, it might seem like there's a lot to do. I mean, just look at all these points of interest. But it's only once you actually get to these question marks that you realize the game is overloading you with, well, nothing. Here I have 5 markers on the map. Let's go see what all 5 of these points of interest have to offer. The first marker is a bad guy den with a bunch of bad guys to kill. I can find bad guys literally anywhere, but this is cool, I guess. The second marker is just a bathhouse. No quest attached, no prompt that allows you to have a bath. It's just a yard full of people bathing and cleaning clothes. The third marker is a painting school. Is there a fun minigame where you can paint? No, there isn't. isn't. The game just tells you that this courtyard is where people paint. The fourth marker is a shrine full of cats. That's like the 10th shrine full of cats that I've discovered so far. And the fifth marker is a temple. You know, just a temple. Okay, so markers are pointless and rarely ever lead you to something interesting, but surely there has to be someone out there that is willing to give you something to do, and on the very rare occasion, there is. And every single time, it's the same slop bullshit over and over again. You'll walk up to someone, they will tell you about a secret organization that is bullying the local people, you'll go around, kill those bad guys, you'll be rewarded with one piece of gear that you already have and a small drop of experience. And that's the game. No, really, here's the objective page. Every single one of these circles below this point is a group of people that some NPC has asked you to go kill. They are all the same, including their scaling. For the vast majority of these groups, with a few exceptions here and there, it is impossible for you at the point of when you obtained the mission to kill all of them in one swoop, as they are not scaled to you, but are designed to be completed over the entire duration of the game. How do I know this? Well, because of the Betrayer questline. A samurai that you've never met before who once worked for Oda has a list of all the people that betrayed Oda and got him killed. Yeah, okay, killed. Let's go with that. And you can go off and kill them all. You know, go off and kill all the people that realized Oda was a monster. I'm sure that's a questline fit for a noble and honorable samurai, with their level ranging from 15 to 40. Anything more than 5 levels above you has the capacity to kill you in a single attack. You obtain this quest around level 13. This questline, along with all the other bad guy organization questlines, are designed for you to complete as you go. The game expects you to be bouncing around on repeat the 10 bad organization questlines whilst you wait to be high enough level for another organization questline, whilst you wait to be high enough level for another organization questline, whilst you wait to be high enough level to complete another organization. I made it my mission to complete the Betrayer questline the moment I got it out of pure spite, just to see what the end story reward would be. I fought thousands of enemies that could have killed me in a single blow, up to 20 levels higher than me, just so I could see what kind of bullshit this game had up its sleeve, because so far it hasn't impressed me. And you want to know what I got? Romance dialogue for a guy that I've spoken to twice. That's my reward for slogging through all of this?
Allow me to look into your eyes and see into your heart. You are more than worthy.
What? I'd like to make it clear, my problem isn't that this is a gay romance option. My issue is that the only thing helping these two characters bond is how horned up they are on how they miss working for an evil warlord. That is the founding of this relationship option. You made one of Yasuke's only gay romances to be with a fucking psychopath. What did Ubisoft mean by this? In a game where the main questline is killing a secret organization, the game thought it would be a smart idea to make nearly all of its questlines about killing bad guys in secret organizations. Are they all the same? No, surprisingly not. One kill circle stands out amongst the rest. You know, just one. A man has been getting tons of reports of demons or yokai, and every time he goes to investigate them, they all turn out to be a load of bollocks. He sends you out to go hunt these yokai in order to prove to everyone that yokai are not real. This questline is actually pretty fun. What a lot of people assume to be demons are in most cases just whack jobs or just a bunch of idiots. Here are two men with melons on their heads fighting in their traditional seasonal melon battle, which will dictate what melon will thrive in the next growth cycle, and it's kind of fun.
The fate of our melon harvest is about to be decided.
That depends on the sky and not the sword, doesn't it?
Insanity!
I actually really like this. Some of them are kind of boring, but for the most part, it's a pretty simple and surprisingly fun quest. Once you complete the quest line and you head back to the quest giver, it will turn out that a real yokai, yes, a real demon, has killed the guy for being a non-believer, and now wants to kill you for trying to disprove their existence. A boss health bar appears on the screen, and oh my god, the game's rewarding me with a boss battle. Oh, this is so cool. She dies in 5 hits, has no special abilities, and has the same moveset of any random crazy lady that you can find on the side of the road. This right here, this lazy approach to quests is everywhere. Every quest is just go do a thing X amount of times with the name of the thing you're doing swapped out, with the end reward always being underwhelming. Go collect some teapots, go collect some banners, go kill some bandits, go kill some yokai, go fuck yourself. It's all the same shit over and over and over again. That yokai quest line is the most original quest in the entire game, and when it attempts to add some kind of spectacle at the end of it all, it has the audacity to spawn a literal demon made out of plaster wall and hands it a kitchen knife. So if quests are a load of bullshit, what else is there to do? You can grind out quick time events or conquer the same castle 40 times. Doesn't that sound fun? Waiter, more repetitive bullshit please, yum yum! Okay. So quests are a load of rubbish, but surely I can explore the map and make my own fun. Well, no. Exploring the map is pointless. It's just the same trees, the same fields, and the same towns for the entire map. The only thing you can bump into are helpless NPCs getting bullied, or NPCs who ask you a question. So it's either I kill one enemy and they thank me and fill up a scout slot, or they ask me a question, I click on one of the two options, and they direct me towards a quest about doing repetitive tasks X amount of times. Oh cool, I love video games. My favorite part about them is paying $100 to go fuck myself. Ha! We interrupt this video to let you know that this is a robbery. You want the video to continue? Then put all the money in the bag! These videos are a lot of fun to make, but they're also kind of expensive. So I'd like to talk to you all about my Patreon and my YouTube memberships. Now, if everyone was willing to give me their money, I wouldn't have to spend so much time robbing banks in order to make these videos happen. Well, that's not good. Patreon pledges and YouTube memberships offer a wide variety of benefits and rewards, like behind-the-scenes content, early access to the videos, and your name listed in the credits of the video. And hey, if you donate $10 a month, you get your name read out at the end of the video! That's kinda cool, right? All these funds go towards 3D assets, commissions, concept artists, voice actors, and so much more. Become a member today by clicking the join button under this video, or to become a Patreon member, click the link in the description. Oi! A little bit of warning, man! So you wanted a side profile? God, you think I committed a crime or something? You know what the one saving grace of exploration was? The scout system. No matter the size of the objective, the game never specifically tells you where to go in order to get started on a mission. It will give you general directions, and you have to use your skills and identify parts of a town's layout in order to find where you need to go. This is the one time the game respects you and expects you to puzzle solve in order to find an objective or target. And if you are struggling, you can always use scouts in order to pin down targets you might not be able to find. The idea being that you are sending out a person to go hunt down the objective for you, whilst also restricting you to a specific amount of scouts per season. I really liked this at first. The occasional need to hunt down your own objectives, as the person who gave you intel can only know so much, and you need to find the rest of it. However, this is not an occasional thing. This is implemented for every kill quest, every collectathon, every main quest, and every job you will ever be given. What results results from this is a player getting so bored of having to do all the heavy lifting all the time that by the halfway point of the game, I promise you, most players are just using the scout slots as a priority instead of an exception. And when they run out of scout slots, they can just fast travel to the nearest hideout, buy more scout slots, and get back on the dilapidated horse. So where the novelty of real exploration is good, the game shoves it down your throat so often that you get bored of it, and that's kind of sad. You are not going to vantage points in order to look for interesting stuff to do. You're only going to vantage points because it offers you a fast travel point so that you can avoid riding through a boring and empty world. Exploration can be a lot of things and can take many forms in a video game, but the last thing it should be is boring. But there is some good news. The exploration may be, boring, but that's not to say that the gameplay is as well. Now that we've got exploration out of the way, we can finally talk about combat. You see, with the combat, it's... As I explained earlier in the video, Nawe and Yasuke play and feel very differently from one another. One of the first indicators of this was when you first try to fast travel as Yasuke once he becomes playable in the game. As Nawe, you can just fast travel to a castle, do the classic jump off of a roof, and land in a haystack and you're all set to go. Yasuke, however, does this.
That was not ideal.
The first time this happened, I pissed myself laughing, and it is a really fun indicator that they are going to feel very differently from one another, and depending on what you're into, you may be playing one more than the other. For some of you, that may just be that you favor stealth over brute force, or power over mobility, but for me, I favored one over the other simply because one is designed with engaging combat that relies on interesting risk-reward mechanics that can incentivize and even promote different gameplay styles to enemy interactions that manages to both be fun and rewarding. And the other one is Yasuke. Nawe's kit is built from the ground up for stealth and takedowns. Leveling up your skill trees builds up your ability to take down stronger enemies in a single push of a button, with the main thrill of the game being that if you do get caught, the fights are brutal, hard, and overwhelming. But that's not to say that she can't fend for herself when things get a little sticky. The goal is to stealth until you can't stealth anymore and fight until you find an opening to run or to take down the enemy conveniently. Or at least that's how the game starts out. You can build Nawe any way that you want, but I enjoy treating her like a stealth missile with the ability to fight in small bursts if things get a little heated. It feels pretty good to play as Nawe, and there is no better feeling in this world than using the kunai assassination engraving. Engravings are specialized buffs that come attached to armor and weapons, with some armor and weapons allowing you to implement additional engravings on top of them. Some engravings are just number go up, more armor penetration, stronger bleed damage, but what I respect about Shadows is that it also offers you engravings that are game changers that evolve existing abilities. The best one for Nawe being the kunai assassination ability, which just makes it that when you assassinate someone, Nawe will automatically throw a kunai at the nearest enemy, killing them instantly, but only if you have a kunai on you at the time of the assassination. It's a lot of fun. You get to kill an additional enemy, with the drawback being that if that kunai kills someone that's in the sight line of another enemy, all other enemies will be alerted to your presence. It's pretty neat. Nawe's kit is smooth. That's the best way that I can put it. She's running on roofs, using grapple hooks to ascend vertically and dropping down on unsuspecting enemies. Mess up and you're in for a good fight. And by the end of cleaning out a castle, you feel like you actually worked your ass off to get here. Yasuke, however, is easy mode for people who don't want to have fun. Okay, that's not really fair. Yasuke is your more fighting-oriented character. He can't run on roofs, he can barely even climb, he can't stealth kill unless using a bow, and has the ability to smash down doors, which will alert all enemies in the area. Yasuke is built from the ground up to take on as many enemies as you'd like without the fear of being overwhelmed. He has high health, higher damage, and has more healing items. He is a walking tank, and it is pretty fun to beat the shit out of enemies without a care in the world. But at some point, you realize then not caring isn't fun. The only saving grace for Yasuke's combat is unblockable attacks. As both Naoe and Yasuke, you can parry attacks. If an enemy's weapon flashes white, that means you can parry and then attack. If an enemy's weapon flashes blue, it means the enemy's about to do a flurry of attacks that, if you parry all of them, will result in them staggering. Weapons flashing red, however, means the attack cannot be parried or blocked. You need to dodge it. And this mix-up of colors from multiple enemies attacking you at once keeps you on your toes. Red unblockable attacks are the key to ensuring that combat does not get mundane. And I know this for a fact because the developers are morons and implemented the last thing that you should do when you invent an unparryable attack. Naoe's game-changing engraving is the kunai assassination that allows you to kill an additional enemy with the risk of alerting other enemies. Yasuke's game-changing engraving is that he can parry unparryable attacks with no drawback of any kind. I don't think I even need to explain why this is a bad idea. Here is a boss fight where I can't parry unblockable attacks. I'm dodging, weaving, and you can see that I'm nervous to step into his attack range as I have no idea if I'll be able to dodge his unblockable attack if I'm already mid-animation. Here is another boss fight where I have the engraving enabled and I can parry all of his unblockable attacks. Does this look fun to you? And yes, you can just easily remove the engraving, but doesn't it seem weird to you that in order to make the game fun, you need to disable elements of the game Ubisoft thought would make the game more fun? Yasuke, whilst definitely being a key part of this game's development, genuinely feels just thrust into the game with no thought at times. I'm of the opinion that if you are going to give a player this freedom of choice in who they want to play as, both characters need to be able to navigate all parts of the game, excluding, say, some special quests that require you to play a specific character. But for Yasuke, this isn't possible. You'll find yourself getting to a tower, which, if you make it to the roof, will become a vantage point, but also a fast travel point. But Yasuke cannot make it up there. He cannot climb, and the ladder in the middle of the tower doesn't lead anywhere, meaning that you have to swap to Naoe, climb to the top of the tower, grab the fast travel point, then swap back to Yasuke so that you can continue playing the character that you actually want to play. To be honest, the only real problem with the game is that one engraving and Yasuke's gameplay kind of being simple. I'll cry about boring and repetitive quests every day of the week, but when gameplay is so good that this is my only complaint, it's kind of impressive. To complain that Yasuke is heavy and clunky when that's kind of the point does feel a bit silly, especially when the remedy for this problem is to just go play the character that actually feels good and is fun to play. And that, ladies and gents, may just be the last nice thing I have to say about Assassin's Creed Shadows. It was brief and fun while it lasted, but now it's time that we talk about the real problems with this game, the Shinbaku and the story. I'm sorry, I forgot you guys were here. Let's continue on and talk about the story. There is a lot to get through here, so let's lay out what we will be discussing so that this segment has at least some form of structure. We will be talking about 5 things: wasteful content, Yasuke's side story, Naoe's side story, the Shinbaku, and the embarrassment of an ending. Let's start with wasteful content. Continuing from where we left off, Naoe and Yasuke have joined forces despite everything and are super cool and completely fine with one another, in the same way that my stomach is super cool and completely fine with popcorn despite what my partner would tell me. Wasteful content to me is content that is implemented to drag out the game's runtime with no rhyme or reason to it, or even just content that's super lazy in its execution. The worst case being base building. After you declare that you'll be building your own guild, every Shinbaku that you defeat may offer a side character that can join your guild if you do their lame-ass side quest. You're building a base as a means of operations that these members can work out of. For the first hour of it, base building seems really important and that it will play a heavy role in the story. The tutorial has you building housing for your scouts, and when you walk out of your base for the first time, the first person you meet gets added to your band of scouts, making housing seem important. You'll need to build more housing the more people you recruit to your guild. And your second objective with base building is to save and recruit a blacksmith. Once you do this, this becomes your means of upgrading your gear. Upgrade the blacksmithing station and it'll allow you to upgrade your gear with engravings. All of this makes base building seem really useful until you realize that this is it. You just built your base. Everything after this does nothing to better your base, and you can just leave it like this and complete the game with ease. The idea of a base building system is welcome, but if you're going to spend this much time and effort on base building, why not make it have a purpose? Or does it have a hidden purpose? Oh, don't worry, we'll get to the purpose real soon! Once you've got your base set up to this point, you can complete Shinbaku missions, unlock tedious missions for side characters, and once you complete them, they will join your guild. The game makes it seem like the more people you recruit, the more help you'll have when something happens at the end of the game. But no, none of these characters are ever going to show up in the main quest line again. They just walk around your base and do nothing. So if base building is pointless and the recruiting of characters does nothing, what is the point of... Oh no. Oh no! Guys, no, you don't understand. You don't get it. We need recruitable characters so that the player can spend real money to play dress up. And you see those trees? Ew! Are those leaves? But don't worry, for the low price of 300 credits, you can buy a dead tree. We saw that tree technology had stagnated, but with your money, we can elevate the Assassin's Creed experience by allowing you to place a burnt f***ing twig in your base that does nothing, full of people that you can dress up to stand around and do nothing in a game where both protagonists should hate each other but do nothing. And all we ask is the low price of your mommy's credit card. I don't even know what to say here. How do you even critique this? Do I just say that microtransactions are bad? Do I point at the dead tree again? This isn't even the most stressful thing I want to talk about, and I feel like I'm already having a stroke. Okay, so let's just move on, I guess, and talk about Yasuke's side story. Once you get a hold of Yasuke, you do get the opportunity to do more flashbacks. Oh boy, it's time for a sequel, everyone. You know what time it is. It's time for... This is just Yasuke training to be a samurai, and it's okay, but I bring it up because you might remember that Yasuke's original name was Diogo. How did he get the name of Yasuke? Surely it must have some important meaning behind it. Was it the name of his master who died? Was it the name of a legendary warrior he once knew? No, surprisingly, it's actually genius. You see, whilst Diogo was training, a child who you've never met before walks up and says he knew a guy called Yasuke once. He leaves, and then here's the real mind-blowing part. It will turn out that that child was actually no one. That child will now proceed to never show up again for the rest of the game.
I will be a warrior like you. My grandfather was a warrior. His name was Yasuke. He was brave, but also kind. When anyone needed something, they would call Yasuke, Yasuke, and he would always help. And I miss him. And he was brave.
His name was Yasuke, and he was brave, but also kind. And I miss him, and he was brave. If you wrote this, I hope you come home to find your wife's bought a new chair for the bedroom. Yasuke's real side story follows him getting revenge on the slaver Templars that he escaped from before being found by the Portuguese and being made their slave. Oh man, that's kind of rough. This is an alright storyline. It includes 3 boss fights with 2 of them having unique movesets. And I mean, just look at this dude. Okay, that's kind of cool. And we do get to see why Yasuke spared Naoe when she tried to kill Oda. And if you liked what I'm about to talk about, I completely understand. But for me, it all just seemed kinda silly. In Yasuke's story, you are trying to track down a man by the name of Karo. And by the end of the storyline, you do end up meeting him. Before the boss fight starts, however, we get a flashback showing why Yasuke wants revenge. And this game has the balls on it to throw at us that Yasuke has a mum. They don't have a single conversation and does not have a single line of dialogue before Karo decides that she needs to die because some paper fell off his desk. I understand that he walks in and she is holding some paper and he may have assumed she read something super important, but all of this happens so fast that they do just seem comically evil, leaving you not overly invested when an underdeveloped villain kills your completely out of the blue mum and the game just expects you to care. What happens next though had me baffled. After Karo shoots your mum, but before he shoots you for literally no reason at all, an assassin flies out of nowhere and tries to save you, gets themselves killed, and you jump into the ocean and hope for the best. Okay. Number 1, what was the assassin even doing here? They must have been hidden away on the ship with a purpose, but you will never know that purpose because they're dead. Number 2, why did they let your mum eat shit, but randomly decide that you were worth saving? And I'll tell you why. This assassin isn't a character. They are a plot convenience to make sure that Yasuke knows about the wrist blade so that he'll spare Naoe later, and is also just meant to be a convenient way for Yasuke to escape, which okay, hold on. How does Yasuke even escape here? You are in the middle of the ocean, and it's made very clear at the start of the game that you were just found floating. But if he was just floating, how did he escape? They literally have guns. It's not like the Templars are distracted. The assassin is already dead by the time you jump off the boat. So they could have just killed you while you were swimming away. You also got shot before jumping into the ocean. So like, how does Yasuke even survive this? The game is so desperate for Yasuke's story to be linked up with both the Templars and the Assassin's Creed that they just decide to write fan fiction. After the flashback, you kill Karo, and that is kind of just the end of Yasuke's storyline. All things considered, it's nice that they at least tried to give Yasuke an independent storyline, because they sure as didn't try when it came to Naoe. Naoe's independent storyline is learning more about her mother, who was a part of the Assassin's Brotherhood that originated from across the sea. Wow, that's really cool. So how does she do this? Simple. She reads some letters. There are 4 letters to collect, and you read them, with the last one being defended by an enemy that Naoe cannot kill. You get this quest at around level 20, and this enemy is level 40. I fought him for hours, and it just wasn't possible. In order to complete the quest line, I had to swap over to Yasuke and just kick him off the cliff. Now let's say that I left this quest, leveled up 20 times just so I could come back and complete the Assassin's Brotherhood mission in this Assassin's Creed game. Well, your reward as Naoe for completing Naoe's storyline about assassins is to be rewarded with a weapon that Naoe cannot use. What is wrong with you? And if you think that's a disappointing ending to a questline, wait until you see what they do with the Shinbaku. Here's how you beat the Shinbaku. In the opening, you kill Jonjuro's dad, so that's 1. You kill 2 more as Naoe, that makes 3. From here, Yasuke is playable, and Mitsuhide is revealed to be one of the 12. You kill 7 more as either Naoe or Yasuke, which will then unlock your ability to hunt down Mitsuhide, which will then reveal to you who the masked man is behind the Shinbaku, with the game hyping up that the leader is a twist. Ooh, mysterious. I'm going to be discussing all of them in full detail, but don't be scared that this is going to drag out. A lot of these bad guys have no details whatsoever. Number 1, Jonjuro's dad. Knocked you out. What a bitch. Die. 0 out of 10. Your son loves me more. Number 2, the Golden Teppo. It's annoying that I have to start with arguably one of the best ones, but the hunt for the Golden Teppo was actually a lot of fun. Instead of the game just mindlessly sending you around looking for a person to kill, you find out that the Golden Teppo is about to go to a tea party, and your job is to get ready for the tea party, learn proper tea etiquette, and whilst at the party, identify who the Golden Teppo is that murdered your father. Once you are ready and you're at the party, there are 3 ladies to choose from, and with all of them, the game tries to mess with you. On the night your dad died, the Golden Teppo says this.
She's like a cat with a gold coin. She has no idea what she carries.
And when meeting the first lady at the party, she says this.
There's something about you that doesn't fit. Peasant with a piece of earth, or a cat with a silver coin.
If you misremember the scene, you might think this is her, which is kind of cool. The second lady talks about hunting down bandits and hates those who steal. Is she hinting that she knows you tried to steal the box? Or is this just a woman trying to tackle the amount of bandits on the streets? The third lady comments on the golden trim of your dress and shows a keen interest in gold. Considering I'm trying to hunt down the Golden Teppo, this might be the girl that I'm looking for. The game then allows you to make the choice on who you think the Shinbaku member is, with it turning out to be Wakasa. She refuses to tell you anything about the box and the Shinbaku, and you kill her. 9 out of 10, super engaging storytelling that offers you the freedom to make mistakes. Number 3, the One-Eared Samurai. This will be our first dud of a Shinbaku member. The story consists of the One-Eared Samurai killing off a clan in this province and you recruiting those who are left to attack the castle so that they can be a distraction so that you can kill the One-Eared Samurai. He doesn't tell you anything about the box as he literally knows nothing. 3 out of 10, super underwhelming, but some interesting characters to chat to as the quest goes on. Number 4, the Nephew. Yet again, another dud. This is just the nephew of Mitsuhide. He is just a stuck-up loser of a kid who joined the Shinbaku for gold and power because he would never be able to have it if he had to fight for it. 2 out of 10, super boring, but kind of satisfying to kill him. Number 5, the Nobleman. This one isn't too bad. The Nobleman joins the Shinbaku so that he can spare his son from having to one day lead a faction that has countless enemies. In the process of joining the Shinbaku, he hopes that he can squash the other factions by vilifying them for the kidnapping of his son, only for it to turn out that he kidnapped his own son to frame the other factions, which would lead to a quick war that he would be able to win with the power and the influence of the Shinbaku behind him, only for him to realize that peace is a viable option due to his son being wiser than he could ever be, and his son can lead his clan without the risk of war. He lets you kill him on the promise that you'll tell his son that he died for him, and he also tells you that whatever is in the box will prove that whoever has it is worthy of the power they desire. Ooh, mysterious. 7 out of 10. Interesting turn for the villain at the end, but was very obvious that he was the mystery member the moment you started talking to him. But don't worry, we do know that the masked man is going to be a man who is powerful and has a lot of influence. Why am I telling you this right now out of nowhere? I don't know. Just because. Number 6, the Fool. The only real fool here is me thinking that the quality of these members would be good for the most part. The Fool is a man who tried to poison his brother because he didn't like the way he was running their clan. He knows nothing about the box, and his nickname being the Fool means nothing. 3 out of 10, super boring villain. Also, the game during this Shinbaku member's quest has you watching some sumo wrestlers when suddenly some old guy wearing the same clothes as the masked man was wearing when he killed your dad walks up to you and dribbles some shit. He then walks away and a character in the background goes, "Wow, that was the overthrown shogun, said to be one of the most powerful and influential people in all of Japan." Does it think this is clever foreshadowing? I want to scream right now. I should be screaming right now. Why? Number 7, the Ox. Really simple character, but an incredibly cool character. The Ox manipulates half-dead clans by drip-feeding them nostalgia of when things were good in order to recruit them to his cause of bringing back Japan to its former glory. Only in reality for him to never really uphold these promises, but for those soldiers he recruits to die in battle and having him recruit those who survive. And he does this on a loop that does not hold him accountable. You kill him, but he knows jack shit about the box like every fucking person so far. 6 out of 10. Really cool villain. However, this quest is let down by being dragged out with unnecessary side characters like every other quest so far. And you start to realize that none of these members of this super secret organization are actually in on whatever the fuck this whole box thing is about. Number 8. The Mourner. This is by far my favorite out of all 12 of the Shinbaku members. You're called to the lands of Omi by Lady Oichi, the sister of Oda Nobunaga, and it's really obvious from the get-go that Lady Oichi is a potential love interest for Yasuke, so that rules her out of being one of the Shinbaku. She talks about how the people in her land are being swindled and that she is in mountains of debt as she's been trying to spend all of her wealth trying to prevent the people of Omi from starving. She actually takes you out on a mission of enlightenment in order to complete your training as a samurai, with her knowing that you will need this training in order to beat the Mourner. This also acts as a romantic quest, as you can confess your feelings for Lady Oichi, and she will end up feeling the same, even though you and her both understand that it will never be.
Sometimes we make hard choices. If you knew your castle would fall tomorrow, how would you live your last night?
I would spend it with you.
Oh, Yasuke. Yes. No. No, it can never be. I must go. Farewell, Yasuke.
By the end of the questline, you come face to face with the Mourner, and it turns out to be, yep, Lady Oichi. Instead of giving you a massive boss fight in order to defeat the Mourner, the game throws the best writing it has at you in order to make you fall in love with her, so that choosing whether she lives or dies is the boss fight.
Everyone is dead.
Please, sir. She did not know the evil this group would do.
Don't I get a say?
You do. But now, she was kind to me at Azuchi. Her brother made me a samurai. I owe her.
Blood must be paid in blood, Yasuke. Lady Oichi must die.
We cannot build a world without mercy, or we are no better than those we overthrow.
This is absolutely spectacular, and was the last thing I expected from a game that's been, for the most part, utter shit. Turns out that the Shinbaku saw her people struggling and the debt that she was in, and forced her into joining them so that they could use her power in the land on the condition that they would clear away her debt that's been haunting her. 10 out of 10. The best that the game gets, and the game will not top this piece of story writing. It's awesome. Number 9. The Fox. The Fox sucks. It's a guy who misses a castle and really wants to own a castle. He's also a songwriter, which just confirms that he's a loser. The only redeeming element of this Shinbaku member is when he asks you, would you not use every tool at your disposal to get what you want? Which makes you, as a player, almost look past how Nawe is completely fine with Yasuke being a nutcase. 2 out of 10. What the hell was that? Number 10. The Wise. The Wise is pretty neat. You open the quest with someone insisting that you pray to the spirits for help. And for the rest of the quest, you will just have a dude following you and telling you stuff that no one should actually know. The game pins 2 warring clan leaders against one another, with a monk handling the peace talks. You expect the Wise to be one of the warring clan members, only for it to turn out to be the monk. He uses his peaceful ways to insert himself between 2 clans, and in secrecy, plots the demise of both by starting wars between said clans. It's an alright quest. The spirit following you around and helping you is cheeky and fun, and makes the quest stand out. 6 out of 10. it's alright. Now that you've taken down all the Shinbaku members outside of Mitsuhide and the masked man, whoever that's gonna be, you can now invade Mitsuhide's castle and get him to spill the beans about the box and whoever this masked guy is. Woo! And it is super underwhelming. You go to attack his castle and it just skips the big battle and makes you chase him down on a horse, only to start up his boss fight where you are wielding the almighty invisible katana. Oh wait, no, the game just bugged on the climactic boss fight that ends this main quest. Assassin's Creed Shadows, ladies and gents. Don't forget to buy a fucking tree. You best him, he reveals who the masked guy is, and you kill him. So guys, you're not going to believe this mind-blowing twist. It turns out that the masked guy is actually the overthrown Shogun, one of the most powerful and influential people in all the land. He finally reveals to you what is in the box, which is honestly the real mystery. What were they after that was so important that it would allow them to rule over Japan? It is a jewel. So what, like a magic jewel? No. Well, I mean, they say it could maybe be magical. What the jewel actually is some imperial regalia. After all of this, after playing this entire game, trying to kill this guy in particular, you will now let him live because he says he might, maybe, perhaps have reports of another person with another blade that may sort of could possibly be your mum. You will then go to a hidden temple with a magic door, and if you play your dad's song, it will open. Wow, was that a callback? But hold on, how did Norway know to play the song? Well, she decides to meditate, go back into the past, and remembers that her dad revealed everything to her the night he rescued her. The jewel, what's in the box, that mum's an assassin, every single mystery that was in this game was actually revealed to her at the start of the game, but she just forgot. It is now revealed that Hanzo... Wait, hold on. I'm sorry. Who the hell is Hanzo? Oh, he's this guy that popped up 3 times at the beginning of the game and worked with your dad. Anyway, it will turn out that Hanzo, the character that has such little screen time that I forgot that he was in the game, is actually the reason your dad thought your mum was dead. Because he got jealous and tried to get them killed, because if he couldn't have your mum, neither could your dad. This game is throwing this at you 10 minutes before it's ending. Okay, so this game's been throwing a lot of shit at me right now, and I'm projecting that at you. But don't worry, guys. We are going to end this video with the scene that made this whole video happen. From here, you can choose to forgive Hanzo and have him join you as you look for your mum, or you can rightfully kill him for getting his entire tribe fucking slaughtered years ago and being the instigator of everything that happens in the game. If you pick to kill him, the game is kind of shocked and asks you again if you want to forgive him or kill him, just to make sure. If you pick to kill him again, it will start up a boss fight where you can kill him. Just kidding! If you make his health bar hit 0, Norway decides, no, I forgive you, and you band together to go find your mum. And just in case you already weren't pissed off enough, the game's going to cut to black with you never actually finding your mum. One of the biggest plot points left open from start to finish. The reason you cannot kill Hanzo is because the game would have to account for him being dead or alive in the DLC. Or God forbid if they're planning a sequel. And that's it. That was Assassin's Creed Shadows. Not a single person in the Shinbaku actually knew who the leader of the Shinbaku was. Yasuke never comes to terms with the fact that he was working for a warlord that killed so many people that the events of the entire game ended up happening because of it, and Norway's story ends on a fucking cliffhanger. I spent $100 on a game that expects me to pay more money in order to have an ending. Nope. That's it. That's the last time I get duped by this fuck-ass company. Assassin's Creed Shadows is the worst game I have ever played on this channel, which is insane because it feels like I've said that in the last 3 videos. But here we are, and it is so bad that I refuse to ever give this company another dollar of my hard-earned money ever again. Who am I kidding? They're gonna release another Far Cry, and I'm totally gonna fucking buy it. I need to lie down. Thank you to everyone who made it to the end of the video. You guys are absolute legends, and I am so sorry if your ears are hurting from all the screaming, okay? But I'm pretty sure you can understand why. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I'd love to hear what you guys thought about the video in the comment section below. It was a massive undertaking considering just how big this game actually was. But quickly, I'd like to offer a big thank you to all of my lovely patrons and my YouTube members who are on the screen right now. But an even bigger thank you to Papa Sun, The Lonely Shepherd, Astral Phoenix, Fancy Feet with 3s instead of E's, Opossum Supremacist, The Superstorm 49, Coffee.pot.cat, Ghost X22774, Call of Mutts, Video Par 97, Sneaky, IR Awesome, Engine and Tonic TM, Mr. Cabbages, Pyrie, Kamari 94, Orathon 3D, and lastly we have the Superstorm 49 again, as they are pledged on both Patreon and YouTube. Thank you all for making these videos possible. You'll be seeing a lot more of me this year, and I cannot wait to share what I have in store. But as a nice little treat for those who've actually made it this far into the video, the next video will be on Elden Ring Night Rain. Thank you all for watching, and I'll be sure to see you guys in the next video. Bye!